In today's video, I built a florist in Los Angeles. Hey glossettes, welcome back. How are you guys doing today? We are finally back in my city building series, Los Angeles. I feel like it's been a while since we've been on here, but today we are of course building a florist. We're actually building it down here next to the... Oh my gosh, for some reason, all my decals are gone. Like all my transparent decals are missing from my build. I don't know where they've disappeared to. Like the sign up here. What on earth is going on? I've been robbed. Anyways, we are going to be building down here today next to the pink post office, which is not even pink. And I think this is a perfect spot for it. I actually think it's gonna look really cute, but if we move on to today's build plans, I did a little sketch of how I want the exterior to look. So first of all, I want kind of like a really cute awning on the top, and I think like a roundish shape sign, and then some wooden wall trims around the bottom. And I also saw this really cute inspo pic on Pinterest, which has inspired me to kind of want to add some like cool decals to the windows. And I think for this, I'm gonna go for a very pastel color scheme. So we're gonna kind of branch away from just pink. I did also attempt to color it in to see what colors would work best, but I guarantee I'll end up changing this. But this is like the rough idea. We're also gonna have some like flower displays built outside as well, obviously, and then inside the interior plan is basically just a very rough layout. So like a counter here, I want to have flowers over here, and then I think this side will do more like plants and then more flowers again. And then at the back, this is gonna kind of be like a bouquet making area, but this is like the rough idea. It's kind of like a very small unit anyways, but I think we're gonna start with the exterior because I'm actually really excited about this. First of all, I want to quickly actually see how many different types of flowers we have. So I'm just gonna kind of place them down here. We obviously have the wildflowers and the daisies, and then the new daffodils, which are so cute. I'm so glad they added some of these. The tulips are probably my favorite. I just want to see, because we have quite a few types now. Sunflowers. There's also a good mix of like bouquets we can get as well. Oh my gosh, and all the bushes. I don't know how I'd have like a fat hydrangea bush in there. Can I resize it? No, but we have quite a few different types. I'm of course gonna use plants as well, but that's kind of like a good mix. I also need to think of a name, but I'm just gonna kind of work on the structure quickly. I think I'm gonna have to make the windows a bit thinner because they're kind of huge. But the first thing I'm gonna do is add the awning. Where are they? I've only just recently remembered what these are called. I normally spend like ages looking for them. The front should be pretty easy to do though. I've just realized as well, how am I gonna make an oval shape? We don't have ovals. Like for the logo, I may just have to do a round one. Oh wait, hang on. This could be an oval shape. Wait, that's perfect. Okay, we're gonna add this. But anyways, how are you guys doing? I'm pretty sure this video is going up on Valentine's Day. So I hope you've all had a very nice Valentine's Day. I know I'll probably be sat in bed eating chocolate. That's kind of my favorite pastime, honestly. I don't know how I'm gonna do an outline on this, but this is looking pretty cute. And then all like the kind of wooden details, I don't know whether to add like individual pillars, because that's kind of what I did on the hair salon and it looks really cool. So I think for like the wall trim around the bottom, I'm just gonna do this. Every single time I do a Los Angeles video, I talk about how I need to add this detail and then I don't. So the plot data on this is just gonna have to wait. But yeah, I hope you've all had a great Valentine's Day. You know what day I'm excited for more than Valentine's Day? Pancake Day. It's Pancake Day in like 3 days, and Pancake Day is one of my favorite days of the year because I just love pancakes. I'm incredibly curious to know what kind of pancakes you guys have. My favorite type of pancakes is Nutella and strawberries. That is the best combination by far. Let me know down below what kind of pancakes you guys will be having. They're just such a good food. Everyone always kind of argues whether pancakes or waffles are better. Pancakes are definitely the best, okay? Okay, wait, this is looking cute already. I actually think this is gonna turn out really cute. I'm enjoying how this looks so far. I may extend the awning all the way to like the end because it's kind of like an awkward size right now, but we're starting off pretty strong. I kind of wanted to add, I don't know whether to add like details on the windows, but obviously we're gonna have like decals on them. So I don't think I should add like, for example, like the lines down, and then we can have like a little pink color and everything. To display the flowers, I really want to make something like this, you know, when you have them in like the little kind of buckets. However, I don't really know how to go about that. I know we have a bucket. Here we go. So I could like transform these and make like a rack for it and kind of have some displays outside because I really want to have flowers out here as well, so it's kind of colorful. Also, I'm kind of struggling with what colors to like make the above kind of area of the town, if that makes sense. But I kind of like hate everything. Anyways, I'll deal with that like at the end of the series, but let's figure out how to actually make some like flower displays. So making these was actually pretty easy. All I did was place down this thin basic shape just as kind of like a base to build on, and then I actually used round structurals to kind of build the actual frame second part of this stand, which was a lot of transforming into place because I kind of forgot how hard they are to build, but you can make them a lot thinner than you can make basic shapes, so it definitely looks better. And then I added buckets onto transparent basic shapes and I just kind of transformed them into place, and it actually came out really cute. Now the buckets are done, I'm gonna add some flowers in there. I don't know how this is gonna go. I was debating adding like a bunch of kind of like plant pots around it and kind of really cluttering the front with flowers, but I don't know how that'll look, so I think I'll just kind of stick to just having the buckets for now, and then I can add stuff later. And to add the flowers in, I'm of course gonna have to transform everything as per usual, and this is gonna take me... Wait, can I not transform flowers? I thought we could transform flowers. I swear I remember. Oh no, wait. Oh my god, wait. I'm remembering it wrong. We can't transform flowers. We can transform bouquets. I'm gonna have to get a bunch of flowers. Oh my god, that's so annoying. Okay, what we're gonna have to do is place down a bunch, and then I'm gonna have to harvest all of these, which should be so fun. Anyways, whilst I do this, there's something I really wanted to talk about in a video because it's just the funniest thing ever. I'm guessing some of you may have seen this on TikTok as well. Surely it's not me because her videos actually get like quite a lot of views, but there's this girl on TikTok. I'll put her account on screen, and she basically does like bloxburg videos where she stalks this guy, okay? There's a guy called like Mr. Sketch or something, and she basically like, she's in love with him or something. So she takes photos of him, like she stalks him in game. And all of her videos are just like pictures and slideshows of this guy and her like you'll see her in her car and you can see his car in the distance, and it's like, it's just so funny. Then some of the screenshots literally have him telling her to like go away, and I just find it so funny. I followed her and she actually followed me back, so now we're best friends. But I just thought Mr. Sketch though was like this random player, and what I didn't actually realize was he's a TikToker. He is a bloxburg TikToker. He has a bloxburg TikTok page, so he came on my For You page and I was like, oh my god, I'm such a big fan. So now we follow each other too. The lore just goes so deep, and it's not even like a page like linked to hers. I don't think he's mentioned her once until like a couple days ago where I think he did. Like he just posts regular bloxburg, and it's the most bizarre situation I've ever come across. And then they even have a fan page. There's like a fan page. It's just so funny. I can't. I'm so invested in the lore of her just publicly stalking him. So if any of them see this, it's really funny. Oh, this is gonna take me ages. I do wish bloxburg would add some more flowers. Obviously we got the daffodils, but I want like more. I just want loads. Oh my god, imagine like what are those ones called? There's like these really, is it like lilies of the valley or something? The really cool ones. We need stuff like that, and we really need willow trees. I really want some of those. Like, let me landscape better, okay? Like I said this in my last video, but I don't like using decal plants, so I need more plants. So I finally managed to harvest like all of the flowers down here, and I now have a decent amount of bouquets. I didn't actually realize you could harvest the sunflowers into a bouquet, but you actually can. They're kind of cute. I also did some kind of work on the sign, so I actually changed the shape. This was the one I was using originally, but the side of it is like all lumpy and stuff, so I wouldn't be able to kind of like add an outline. So I instead used this one instead, which is like, this is a sphere, this is a half sphere, because obviously half of the half sphere is flat, so it works really well. And then I just added like a structural kind of thing around it. I also added some details on the wall. I also made it gray again because I'm being indecisive on the color already, so I'm leaving the colors until later. And I did start kind of working on the interior, but before we go in there, we're gonna quickly finish off adding all the flowers into the buckets, which is gonna be the most annoying part, but it does look really cute. There's some of the tulips I've already put in there. It's actually pretty good. Oh yeah, and I'm also kind of considering adding like little stone kind of flowers up to the door. So basically all I have to do is grab a bouquet, add it onto a little basic shaped cube, and then we can add them into the buckets. But anyways, I know I was talking about like TikTok earlier, and like obviously that girl who stalks that guy on TikTok, but I was thinking and I was like, my TikTok is so weird. I basically started posting regularly again on TikTok. I haven't for like 4 or 5 years or something, but now I kind of post bloxburg stuff on there again, and I'm kind of starting to realize I get a lot of weird messages on TikTok. I get so many people who send me the weirdest things and like tag me in the weirdest things. Like the other day, I think it was yesterday, some girl sent me an invitation to her bloxburg baby shower. Should I turn up? Should I turn up with like a gift? Like I get invited to like the most random things, and then also get tagged in videos all the time, you know, where it's like tag 15 friends, and if they don't reply, they're fake. People I've never met tag me in those all the time. And then some people, just random followers of mine, will send me TikTok videos into my DMs that they find funny. Like they just send me random stuff as if we're like best friends, and it's really entertaining. I did get this one girl, like I think a couple months ago, who tagged me in this video. I got tagged in this video of this girl, and it was like send this to someone you hate or something, and she was like swearing in it, and this person who followed me just randomly tagged me in it. So I replied being like, and she just went, oh, I didn't think you'd see this. She didn't remove the comment or anything. That's what normally happens. People normally remove their comments because they're like, oh my god, I didn't think you'd actually see this. But she kept it there. She's proud of what she tagged me in. So I'm finding it very entertaining. It's just like the stuff people tag me in. Oh my god, another thing, I get tagged in like random makeup hauls all the time, or like people begging for like sponsorships from GLOSSIE because people think I'm GLOSSIE, but I'm glossy. The TikTok app itself is just bizarre. I also think it's kind of broken because, you know, when you have a TikTok account and it'll like send notifications to your phone where it's like, this person you might know is on TikTok. I get a ton of those at the minute. Like the past, I'd say 6 months, I get a notification nearly every day being like, this person you might know is on TikTok. But the type of people it's recommending me is a very specific group of people, and it's my 2021 fan accounts. So back in 2021, that was when I like originally made my bloxburg TikTok, and the reason I stopped was because within 2 weeks I got like 25k followers, and I was like, oh my god, I don't want to be known as a TikToker. Like it took over my YouTube. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna get my YouTube bigger first, and then I'll come back to TikTok one day, which is what I did. But at the time I gained like about 30 different fan pages in 2021, all in like the same week. There was like a big group of them, and they're all inactive now obviously because that was like 5 years ago. But for some reason TikTok is only recommending me 2021 fan pages that don't post anymore, and I don't know why. It's not even like they're recommending me like recent fan pages. It's strictly only those, and it's the most confusing thing ever. I don't get recommended anyone else. Oh my god, that's sticking out. That's gonna annoy me. But yeah, I'm posting a lot on TikTok. I post a lot of bloxburg news on there because no one seems to have the attention span to watch my main channel videos anymore, so I've had to kind of get with the times. Oh my gosh, wait, this is actually so cute. Look at these. I also have a bunch of the Valentine's bouquets. So the lovely bouquet and the joyful bouquet, these are actually like mixed flowers. So I thought these would be really cool to have because it's kind of like what a florist would obviously do. They would make custom bouquets. So these are going to be perfect, especially inside. So I finished adding and coloring all the flowers. You have no idea how long it took me to get some kind of cute color scheme with these. Also, I know there's purple here, okay? I'm upset about it too, but I had to do a variety of colors for this to look good. So unfortunately, I have to deal with purple being in my build, and I'm incredibly upset about it. But I think the outside is looking pretty cute. I made these green and yellow stripes, and then also kind of like added the pink color back and added these, which are like the flower pillows, but I made them look like little stones in the ground, and I just think this is adorable. But what we're gonna do now is move on to kind of working out how the inside is gonna look. Yippee! So for the store interior, I started with the counter design, and at first I was actually thinking about making it look like kind of like a picket fence around it, just to kind of match with the whole flower garden vibe. So I made these fence panels, but I swiftly realized that this just wasn't gonna look good. I also messed around with display ideas for a while, but I was just completely clueless on how to furnish this thing. So I moved on to adding a floor design first with black and white tiles, and then after a while I decided to try and work on the color scheme. I added like bright pink walls to match the exterior, and then also kind of added the same white wall trim around the bottom, and then at the top I added, I think it's called like a scallop kind of pattern in yellow and green for another wall trim kind of to match the outside, but it was ugly, okay? Eventually off camera I changed a lot, so I made the walls white. I added like a new counter design and these big wooden wall panels that kind of look like biscuits, and I ended up building the display shelves into these for the flowers as well. I also built more shelves and did a lot of other details, but for some reason that footage is just missing, or I accidentally deleted it, who knows, okay? So this is how the inside is looking. Also, it's raining, so if you hear background noise, then that's where it's coming from. I can't like not record whilst it's raining because it's been raining for a total of like 49 hours at this point. It's been raining in the UK every single day of 2026, and most of that has been over my house apparently because it's so noisy. And obviously, as I say every single video at this point, my room's in the attic, so it's incredibly loud, okay? But we are gonna work on getting this bit finished. So I added these fans that kind of were colored like flowers, and I also wanted to add kind of like big decorative flowers on the walls at some point, so we might still do that, but I think the fans are kind of cute. I also made the counter back here look like the counter in the front bit, so I added like all of the structurals around the side, and then I didn't add them on the back for the reason that I'm gonna say is saving plot data, but actually it's because I couldn't be bothered. So but this is gonna be like where they make the bouquets, so we're gonna have like ribbons and kind of wrapping and stuff. But let's finish off the front area first. So what we're gonna do now is decorate this with bouquets. We're gonna use a few little build hacks, and then over here I was kind of like, I wanted this one to be like a display of plants, but then I also have this area, so I was kind of just gonna sell plant pots over here, but who who sells the plant pots with ready-made dirt in them? Like, I don't know what to put over here. Maybe more flowers. It's kind of like a weird area at this point. I also really want to use this little greenhouse somehow because I just think it's so cute. But we are going to start with doing some really cool looking bouquets over here. Now I am going to try and use a build hack that I use for most of my bouquets. You've probably seen it in my videos at this point, where you kind of use multiple bouquets to make it bigger and look like far better. However, how you normally have to do that is on medium or large placement grids to get the placement right, and these little vases are not on medium and large placement grid, so I don't know if this is going to work, honestly. We may just have to use the kind of default little bouquets. We'll see in a second. So basically what you do is you add like a carpet over the top, and then we grab our bouquets. Let's start with the tulips. They're my favorite, and then you add them like over the top. But the thing is, you have to kind of have it on like a medium or large placement grid so that you can place them easily. But this isn't going to line up, is it? So you basically do this. You like rotate them on the same spot. Can you kind of like see the vision? I'm gonna have to kind of move the vases because this is not underneath it. This needs to be like moved along, but it would look so cute if this worked properly. And we had like these really cool bouquets. I found a really obvious solution to the flower problem. I just transformed them on basic shapes instead. I somehow forgot I could do that. So instead of messing around with that weird placement, I now just have really cute bouquets. A far easier way of doing it. So these are gonna be like all of the, I guess, nice bouquets. And then over here, this was obviously, like I said, gonna be plants, but then I realized the plant pots are kind of too big to fit like around this thing. So I think instead I'll keep this bit to plant and I'll have like a bunch of them. Like I really want to have like a mini kind of jungle, so I'm just kind of adding like tons of plants around this area. We'll probably have something cool on the walls to represent it as well, and then the other kind of stand is gonna be flowers again. I'm just trying to crowd this as much as possible. I actually didn't realize how many plants we had now because I barely use them, but there's so many different kind of types. I didn't think we had this many, honestly. I'm not too sure what to add on the wall to kind of like have like a cool thing for the plant area. I'm not too sure. Maybe we could have vines. I was also thinking of having like vines with flowers going up the side of the outside of the store, but I'm gonna kind of decide on that towards the end because I actually really like how simple the store looks right now. But do you see the vision? I think this is gonna look so adorable. Okay, I think I finished most of like the kind of shelving and stuff. So we have the bouquets over here. I've added a few other details like a little chair thing. The plant area is actually looking really cute. I decided to add the greenhouse on the wall because I couldn't really think of where else to put it, but I think this area looks pretty cute. We have this, which is flowers, but this is meant to kind of be like a kind of mix and match thing. Like you could come in and like custom make your own bouquet. I don't know. And then we also have some like seeds for sale and stuff over here. So everything like shelf product wise, I guess, is kind of done, except this one. This is a mess. Just ignore the shelf. But what I think we're gonna do now is I'm gonna add some details on the walls and everything and in here, and that pretty much should be us nearly done. Oh yeah, I added like this round doorway for some reason, and then also in here I put the new cabinets because they're so cute. But yeah, we're basically gonna focus on getting everything finished and then adding all the decals and stuff, especially out here. However, wait, oh my gosh, wait, my decals are back. Oh my gosh, finally. They've been gone for like days. Like this build has taken me, oh, never mind. This one's still blurry. The Bow Bakery ones are fine, but the issue is they keep disappearing or being pixelated. I don't know what's going on, but apparently one of them's fine. Oh wait, this one's fine. Is it? No, this is pixely. I just need the decals on here to stay normal for the tour and then it's fine. But yeah, I'm basically gonna add some cool little details in here to finish it off. So the first thing I did was make these flower wall art things above the flower displays using structurals for the vines, and then for the main flower part I use like the daisy pillow. They're actually really useful for build hacks. And then I also got the new sparkler table light thing, and I put this on a basic shape and transformed it to be in the middle of the flower, kind of like those little lines inside of a hibiscus, if you get what I mean. And it also added some nice lighting into the build anyways, but I repeated this on the other wall and then finally moved on to the back room area, and this was heavily inspired by this Pinterest image here from a florist. I wanted to have a very similar display of the stuff they obviously used to customize a bouquet. I built this custom shelf type thing on the wall above the table and then gathered supplies that I wanted to add to it. I also custom made these little ribbon wheel thingies, I don't really know what you call them, to go on the wall, and I made these green blocks which were meant to look like, I think it's called phloem. It's like the material you use to put flowers into for displays, but a lot of people use it for like satisfying slime videos. I really hope you guys know what I mean, but I finished the shelf off with like heart boxes and vases ready to use. Then I also added one of the wall panels in here and some shelves and covered this in decals, so it was kind of like a pinboard of like flower and plant design ideas. I also added a little sink area because plants obviously need water, and just some random decor I think florists would have, and off camera I made and added a bunch of decals, but that was pretty much it. I managed to get all of it finished pretty quickly, and it's time for the final tour. So the build is all complete. I think this is one of the cutest things I've ever seen. I think this is one of my favorite Gloss Angeles stores because this is so adorable. So first of all, of course, we have the exterior, which I think might be my favorite part. I love the little kind of like flower baskets and everything, and like the stones going up to the door and the sign as well. This is kind of what I went for the logo, just a very basic like black writing I did, but I think it looks so cute out here. I of course have like the oh, it's so annoying because like the glass kind of like shines through, but I have the flowers. You can see them when I go far away. So I tried to make like doodles for the windows, like one of the reference images, but this is the exterior. Also, we have this open sign, which fun fact, this just gets moved. Like every single time I have a building Gloss Angeles that needs a sign on the front, I just take one. Like it was on this store at some point. I found it like over here somewhere on this store. I just move it around every time I need it, to be honest. Anyways, let's go inside. We have the interior. Now I will say, I'm not too sure about the walls. I think they could have been something that wasn't white, but also the white helps the detail. But this is the interior. We have like the plant section, which actually looks super cute. We have all the plants and everything, and like the little greenhouse and some tools. And then of course on this side we have like the bouquets, so we have like all the different types and everything. I love the like flower things. I thought these were really cute, and obviously the ones outside do match as well. But we have like this little area. We have the counter area, which is super cute. I kind of finished adding everything on the shelf. I think this looks really cool. I still kind of think the counter gives like ice cream store, but I think this is super cute. We have like the kind of mix and match bouquet thing, and then like some seeds and everything for sale over here. And that is kind of like the store area. I think I've done an okay job. We also have like the flower archway, so I just kind of made like a wooden thing. But if we go back here, I think this might actually be my favorite area of the store. We have like the bouquet kind of crafting section, so I have like ribbon and like the kind of see-through paper and like boxes and whatever else. This is just kind of like a bouquet making area. You can see them kind of like making one here. We have like tons of supplies on all the shelves. I think this looks so cute. I added like a wall where it's kind of like them planning out the designs of things, I guess. So I did these sketches myself of like the bouquets and some of the plants and everything in bloxburg. I just traced them, which is why they don't look atrocious. Also, as per usual now, all of my decals are in my Roblox inventory, so if you want access to anything you see in this build, then if you follow me on Roblox, you can see my inventory and use some of these. It's kind of like an inspo board. We have like a sink area with flowers, and this is kind of it. This is like the back room, and that is it for the florist. Obviously it's not like a huge interior, but I think it actually looks really cute in here. I love it so much. That is pretty much it for the build though. We're slowly getting there. We have now I think nearly 10 or maybe exactly 10 stores, and I am loving it. But let me know down below what you guys think of Gloss Gardens. Oh yeah, the name. Okay, so the name, a couple of people suggested I call it this in my Discord, but I was like no, because I already have something called the Glossette Gardens. So I was trying to think of something more creative and I just couldn't think of anything I liked, so I stuck with Gloss Gardens. But anyways, let me know what you guys think down below of the build, and let me know what your favorite Gloss Angeles store is so far. That is it for today's video. As per usual, all my channel members are on screen now. Thank you so much for joining the channel, and on my night 2 boosters, thank you so much for boosting my Discord server, and all my merch buyers, thank you all for buying my real life merch, which of course will be linked at the top of my description. But I love you all so much, glossettes. XOXO Glossielle.